Hans Niemann came in with a very strong team to Hong Kong, with Lenier Dominguez, who is a former Rapid World Championship, Denis Lazavic, who is a genius of the Rapid chess, Alexei Sarana, who was a great player, Zuginer, the best woman in the world maybe nowadays, and this guy who is the under 2000 rated, who I don't know his name, but I'm sure that he's very good, and Hans Niemann, of course, in the first board. And like we are seeing in this picture, they get the silver medal in the blitz. In the rapid, he doesn't finish in a top position, but in the blitz, he reached the finals. And in the finals, they lost against the team of Dean Liren. But okay, the silver medal is a great result. And in the blitz tournament, we had a knockout in the second day. And in that decisive day, the best player of the team, without doubts, was Alexei Sarana, and maybe the best player of the day. And for that reason, I'm going to show a great game of Alexei Sarana in the semifinals against Anis Giri, who give the ticket to the final to the team of Hans Niemann, the Endgame IA. So let's see the game. I should take out, okay, I'm going to put my face bigger, and let's see the game of Sarana. Let's go. Okay, Sarana opened with d4, d6 by Giri, going like for a pirk or something, e4, and Anis Giri decides to play the Firidor, and Sarana here goes for the final. Endgame, sorry, knight f3 is the main move, but the endgame is playable for white. Of course, white is slightly better because this king is in the center, I have no castle, and white is going to be a little bit ahead in development. Of course, if you can hold the endgame with black if you place well the endgames, or you studied the endgame a little bit, but white have a slightly advantage. And for a blitz, everything is playable. Bishop c4 by Sarana going for the f7 pawn, and black can defend that, of course, but Anis Giri decides to sacrifice the pawn with bishop b4, and he just grabbed the pawn, bishop f7, knight e4, knight e2, rook f8, bishop c4, and here looks like Giri doesn't know so well the theory of the position. Anis Giri used to play knight or forward, so I suppose that he doesn't know the theory here, because okay, it's a blitz game and he can play everything, but looks like he doesn't know so well the theory, because just in the move 9 he missed. He played knight c6, who is not the best. Was stronger to play bishop f5. The problem of knight c6 is that the black king is going to have problems in the next few moves for being in the center. Bishop e3, just developing pieces, and now black should react because white is coming with long castle, and let's say that this king is really going to have problems, and knight e4 is coming after long castle, so knight takes e3, good response by black, knight c3, and Anis Giri decided to give the bishop pair to double white pawns, because if not, one day this knight is coming here, the bishop here, and it's going to be annoying, so Anis Giri decided to give the bishop at the correct time. Bishop takes, and here another mistake of Anis Giri, but the position is very hard to play for black, of course. Here he should play with king e8, just leaving the danger, and if long castle, rook f6. This was the best defense and the only moves to still being in the game in a very, very hard position. Instead of that, he plays the natural bishop f5, and just in 12 move, Anis Giri is completely lost against Alexei Sarana, because Sarana plays just long castle, attacking the king, and here he goes with f4, who is not the best. Looks stronger, just rook e1, just placing pieces in the center. You have all your pieces playing, and later you can think about break on f4, and there are ideas of bishop d5, for example, rook f6, bishop d5, bishop e6, and bishop d5, rook f5, and you can capture and now f4, for example. But looks more natural, just develop first the rook and later break with f4. Bishop d5 was another possibility. f4 by Sarana, not the best, but okay, he's still putting pressure, rook d8, and here another mistake. He played bishop d5, allowing bishop d4, and black more or less can hold the position, thanks to a tactic. Bishop c5 was stronger, just attacking the rook, and it's not clear because the only square for the rook are f6 or h8 or knight e7, so it's not easy for black. Rook f6 looks the most natural move, but after pawn takes and bishop d5, and you can capture with the knight because rook e1. So bishop c5 was very annoying. The problem of bishop d5 is that after bishop d4, rook d2, here black have this nice tactic, knight d4, to trade pieces and alleviate the pressure. And I think that maybe Anis Giri can hold the game with knight d4. But he goes for 97, another mistake. And now black is giving the b7 and e7 pawns. And okay, he's going to capture on f4, but the a4 pawn is going to be very, very fast. Now after bishop b7, rook d2, king d2, white is going to capture on e7 too, and this pawn is going to be very annoying. And in a pawn race, the bishops are stronger than the knights. Pawn takes, bishop takes, rook f5, and now rook bishop d1 was stronger, just leaving this square and controlling all the board, attacking g7. Bishop d4 was the best move. Rook e1, and here, of course, black should move the king because the knight is pinned, but Anisgiri decided the incorrect side of the board to go with the king. He decided that f7 is going to be safer, but king d7 closer to the a pawn is better to defend. King f7 and another mistake. Again, Alexei Sarana should have played bishop d4, just taking control of all the board. He played rook e4, g5, again, bishop d4 was the best, rook c4, and great move of Giri, rook a5, attacking the bishop and attacking the pawn, bishop f2, c6, defending that pawn, a4, and here the only move to hold the game by Yanis Giri was rook e5. Okay, it's not so hard because you are threatening rook e2, and if king c1, rook e2 anyway, bishop c5 and bishop f5, and I'm not seeing how can white defend the c2 pawn. So rook e5 was very, very annoying, of course. Instead of that, Anis played bishop e6, who was answered with another mistake of Sarana, who played rook c5, allowing rook a4. Rook b4 was better, just keeping the a4 pawn alive. And after rook c5 came here the last mistake of the game, the final decisive blunder. Anis Giri thought that he can play rook a7, but he blundered this move, rook f5 check and taking the rook, and then the a pawn is going to be decisive. I'm sure that Anis Giri blundered rook f5, trading rooks. The only move here, of course, was rook a4, just taking the pawn, and you can maybe make a draw here because the a4 pawn was very, very annoying and you take it. But Anis Giri, I'm sure that he means rook f5, and after Sarana was the move, of course, and after bishop takes a7. Now this pawn is going to be unstoppable. So, okay, this wasn't a perfect game, but okay, for a blitz game, it's not bad to beat Anis Giri in 30 moves, and Sarana makes like 8 points of 10 or something like that in the last day. Not 8 of 10, but he made an incredible performance in the last day. So congratulations to Alexei Sarana and the team of, I'm going to put the mates again, and the team of Hans Niemann, Lasavich, Leinier, this guy, and Zujiner, who take the silver medal in the World Championship. So I think that Niemann is going to be in the national team of America. I don't know if Niemann, we have Niemann, Leinier, Aronian, Wesley So, Caruana, Nakamura. We have many players for the national team, and there are only 5 spots. So I wonder, Liang was with 27, so let's see who are going to be in the national team of United States. Bye bye.